I am from Kenya. This is Prissy on Edutainment. Welcome once more. This is Wednesday, 21st January 2026. The month moving quite fast. It's flying. Again, we thought the year is just starting, but before you know it, it will be over. So guys, welcome. Daytime is so limited, but we try as much as we can because in the evening, again, as we say, time flies. Okay? So thank you so much for those who are subscribing. I can see we've got to 3,380, almost approaching 4,000. I know our goal for the end of the year will be achieved. And I really appreciate those who are dropping comments all the time, those who are liking and sharing my videos. Congratulations to you. And I also actually, if you have a channel and I'm doing a live stream, you would wish me to do a shout out, simply do share the link, and then the people who are watching will keep seeing you. Kelly Sharp, hello, thank you. So today there's a lot of shenanigans going on in Nyabohanse, just as usual, and we have to talk about it. And I keep reminding people the reason why we keep talking about Nyabohanse. This is a village of drama. A village of drama in their life, and of course because they share it online, why not we go pick it and see whether we can make some moolah out of it. Okay, so if you are only watching them not doing it, maybe it's your choice, but for us as critical analysts, we have just to do the necessary. So I appreciate you, and I hope that your goals 2026 are lining up. Of course, being the beginning of the year, it might be a bit challenging, but no problem. Time will tell, but you have to put in effort, prayer, and all that is required. The necessary networks, of course, things that lead to success are so many. People lie to us about one or two things, but the tools that lead to success, there are so many. It's just like you say that you pray and then your kid will make it. No, you have to put efforts to help that kid. You as a parent, you have to buy necessary resources. You have to make sure the school you are taking them to has a culture of success. You also have to make sure that you are paying fees and all that. So there is a lot. It's not just one thing that will lead to success, but many people lie to us. Actually, when you look at some of the YouTubers who made it, they'll only tell you the only secret is to keep posting daily. But that is not the only thing. There are so many other things involved, like even some of us, we need to upgrade in terms of editing, maybe in terms of choosing the content and what have you. So what I learn every day is that there is a lot in life. Just like when we are preparing food, one spice is not enough, so is life. And why did I start with this? I started with this because there is a lot I've learned, a lot. And I only engage in it or share with people depending on when they want to get it. So again, guys, Facebook Professional is doing it. It's something you really have to do a lot of efforts, but it's not so engaging. Like you don't have to spend a lot of time to do a video or a reel for Facebook. You can just adjust here and there. A same picture can be posted various times, but you can do some things to it. You can choose actually a flow of a story or about yourself, your imagination, other people, and all that, all right? And the good thing with Facebook, you don't have to stick to one area. You can have diverse areas because you don't know whoever wants to listen or watch what you're posting. So guys, welcome once more. I am trying to push as much as I can because, my goodness, I don't want to be stuck in one area. So these people in Nyabohanse, it is such a funny thing that they have kept pushing us and telling us about the police. I'm like, in this era, would you scare anybody with the police? The police are negotiated with. In fact, in Kenya, the system is very porous. You can't threaten anybody with the police because the police actually eat from the prisoners, or rather the jailers, or whatever you call it. So I've seen a lot of threats happening between Max 1 and GINTU, and I knew it. I knew it would come to this. When it comes to Donatus in Nyabohanse, people will even do anything, including shambuking, including, making sure somebody disappears. I don't want to use certain words because I don't just want to attract some advertisements that are directed towards that on my channel. But guys, if you know, you know it. If you don't know it, forget about it. Of course, that's how you say it, the tingle goes. So Max One was actually attracted to a project that GINTU was overseeing as a supervisor for the group actually bringing in money to build a house for the Maticos. Remember, Maticos are so much into liquor, they are totally confused. They can't manage finances. And of course, they sell liquor in their homes. You saw the other day the teacher and wife fighting openly in their home because they had gone for liquor, right? Matiko always takes and sleeps everywhere. But there are people out there, of course, in UK who are sympathizing with their situation and are ready to help. As they try so much to push, now we have opportunists like Max One, GINTU, name them all. Maybe some of them are trying more than others, but I can assure you, these people belong to the same WhatsApp group. They just belong to the WhatsApp group. And unfortunately, because they know the secret of each other, and they are fighting for Mula, all of them. Tell me why we would actually be fighting over somebody's project, if not for Mula. That is exactly the motivation. So what happens in Nyabohanse is that when these people were YouTubers, major YouTubers, have charity groups coming through them to help those people who have a low life, they know that we have spillover. If somebody sends maybe $100, they may decide to give $70 or $60 and take 40. And because the families whom they are helping are not informed, they will not question. You understand that when GINTU dropped the project at Matiko, there were a lot of issues. In fact, also a lot of people coming out to speak. And we understood that generally the problem is coming out because of Mula. That GINTU was not being transparent, though GINTU came out and spoke about it, trying to elucidate light into why it's happening. He tried to say that the person who was sponsoring the project was actually not very coming out very clear in the entire project. And we don't know who to believe, guys. I'm telling you, we may be actually doing the correct analysis or the wrong analysis. Analysis is analysis. And we just have to question about these things so that these people, if they would actually think about it, they'll do the right thing. So guys, Max One has come out with a lot of anchor. He's pouring online. Let's go for the receipts.
Fatigue, Mediclass, Ambogrio, vocabulary do not make even sense. So Mr. Vocabulary, aka Mr. Too Much Talking, what is your problem? What is your issue? Because yesterday I saw you were hunting Mama Felicitas up and down, of which I'm going to address it here because you talked about nonsense. Even someone who reasons very well cannot even think about it. He or she could not even have spoke those nonsense that you spoke yesterday. And I was like, is this Mr. Vocabulary? Is this all that you got? I was surprised. Is this all the nonsense that you can get? And even when you went to Mama Felicita, who sent you? So right now you are working for the short man. Huh? You're working for him. So he's the one who sent you. So I'll be coming to at least to bring out what Mr. Vocabulary was talking and what why he was following my Felistas up and down, you know.
All right, guys, I hope you're following up what I'm sharing right here. So remember, Max One came up to complain about GINTU, and he's calling him Mr. Vocabulary, he's calling him Mr. Talk Too Much, and all those names. Of course, anybody who has been following GINTU understands what they were talking about. And please, you can continue dropping your comments in relation to this topic, but you understand the tingle and how it goes. Of course, all these people are very vocal. No wonder they are able to respond to each other. But we like the vibes because they bring the news with them up and use them. Okay, thank you so much for the likes, and I want us to go to GINTU's channel and see what he dropped. What did he share that actually motivated Max One to speak? Now, these people speak in kind of metaphorical language, but it's quite clear to anybody who has been following them up. It is very possible for you to know what they are talking about and why they are talking. Now, for that to understand the history of where Max One came in, the project Matiko is proceeding with, we know well that whoever it was filing or rather sponsoring the project had entrusted to GINTU until there was a phone in question. So GINTU was actually asked to buy a phone for Matiko, according to some people, and of course one of them was a lady just within the village. GINTU did not use all the money. But GINTU came out and shared out the information about this phone and why he bought so and receipts and all that. We thought that aspects were cooled down. The problem I understand that these people are going on with the war is the money, the donation money that is coming out, and of course other donors will come out. When they paint other people as not being transparent, of course it attracts the donors to go to the next person. But still that next person, their interest is collecting something from that donor. You wouldn't tell me you would be fighting for donors to come through you to just help other people. That doesn't make sense, does it? It doesn't make sense. Let's accept this. Even when you see the war Marwa normally has with some people whom he has been supporting. Like Marwa recently made a lot of noise about Nico Buddha and FELO the boy. We also saw a lot of noise from David Jr. at some point because of some people who are coming to make content there, and they were pledging or rather asking people to help them, pleading for help. And it has happened around so many people in Nyabohanse. Actually, the major conflict that have happened in Nyabohanse is as a result of donators or just the aspect that there is money coming as by the way, you cannot actually fight so much just because of subscribers and following. But when it comes to donors, you know, donors do a lot in the lives of YouTubers. Like one donor or two or three, they contribute a lot to the project the YouTubers do in Nyabohanse. The money they get from the YouTube itself, it's not so much. But the money they get from donors is a lot, because one donor can decide to contribute even 4,000 USD. Do you know what that money means? In Kenyan money, that's around, when you pick $4,000, multiply that by around even 150 alone. That one is 600 what? 600,000 Kenyan shillings. You can imagine. So that is what makes these people fight left and right. And even some of the reactors who react, I've come to learn, even those who call themselves positive reactors, they have wars in between. They may not exhibit the wars clearly, but when, for example, they have a certain skill or certain knowledge, they will not share it with anybody. They want to be the first to come online and share it because of maybe making some money out of it, or they want to outshine any other person. That is the word. So if you understand these things, these people are coming out to use us to actually create some content, and then some of them will win the hearts of some donors at the expense of those who are talking about it, but we have to talk about it anyways. So this is what exactly whoever is being called Mr. Vocabulary or Mr. Know-it-all shared. Let's go to the receipts and come back to
or manage at that kind of the position. But this is the real life situation of how the once is, and you can understand this kind of the home. I had not even started the YouTube journey, and it was constructed here with FELO the boy. I understand there was this kind of the boy is called whom? There was Zach Discovery, and also there was this kind of the other guy who is now in Awendo, right now doing some of the projects in Awendo. And they were doing this kind of the project so meticulous, and I understand how the things were coming out now and again. But again, there's this kind of the boy from Nyabohanse who is calling himself an MCA, who is just a cricker to him, and rent much of the houses here, and is just using red spot to talk about how it's going to be coming. I'm heading to Nyabohanse, and you will see what's going to be coming out is when you go and change the language from one time to another, change it from this time to another, and change the language, like the person is not understanding the English, and you change that English or that kind of the mother tongue to English, something else going to be cooking from that kind of the side, and whatever going to be spoken out, whatever going to be tangled outside is something very different as we're going to be the people going to be getting to the ecosystem here. So sometimes before people going to be managing some of the 2-3 things, they have to understand what they're going to be speaking at which kind of the rate here. Me personally, I can just remember, I had not even started the YouTube journey. Talk about I could become a YouTuber. I never knew it myself, and I was getting myself maybe getting from one position to another, and I knew like things gonna be coping up. I was seeing this kind of the people, they were working so meticulously here, and Otenga Junior, they were making it happen, and I ever knew this kind of the people helping the society, helping Mama Felicia's each kind of the time here. How many businesses they were open, even including I was passing here, I was going to my fish ponds, I was buying some of the mandazis from this kind of the area. Right now she's working at the timber yard in Nyabuanse, and you understand she has sold everything, including the plots and much more. There's a time I said my father had bought a land from Mama Felicia's, and things started roaming out, complaining about, oh, you know, this kind of they cannot get a titlement or a title of that kind of the land, ABCD, so much things. And my father talked about, I don't want disturbances, let me buy something that are gonna be in a way like I will not be having some stress of something I own. And they sold it out and went and purchased another land from another area in a bigger size, because during that time I can come to the real way of understanding how these kind of things are cooking. During that time they were selling a land at 30,000, 40,000 because the husband was there. Was a very drunken man, and they were selling in a throwing price, and what they needed is money to.
All right, guys, so you understand that's this kind of shenanigan or talk, it cannot end today nor tomorrow. Today we're gonna get this kind of talk, and if you sit down very carefully and listen to these people, you realize all of them are scammers, from left to right, from west to east, from north to south. All of them are scammers. You get it? So human beings are very selfish, by the way. I don't even know why that vocabulary comes out as if they are specific who are. Human beings are generally selfish. And when they do something, they do because it's an opportunity. But sometimes they come out in the limelight and lie to others that they are not. They are selfless. They are, I don't know. I'm telling you, the only person who sacrificed for us was Jesus Christ, and no one else will ever do that. No one else. Trust me. Trust me. If somebody comes to you and they pretend to be so good, they are here to help, I'm telling you, it's a lie. Na lie. Hey, yeah. So GINTU is clearly giving us information without knowing. So he says here that his father bought land, and the father to FELO, the boy, used to be a drunkard who sold away his land at throwaway. You get it? Now currently, who is doing that in Nyabohanse? Marwa is the lead in this, and of course he has taught the brother David Jr. to do the same. Then Dimwango is trying to do it now that she's relocated to Poland. I don't know whether she will make it to do it there. And we can also see now the rest of the people, including Mapopo, including Masibo, including Max One, and the rest of them are doing the same. When you see them actually going to those vulnerable homes to pretend that they are getting donors to build them houses, after building the house, the next thing you'll hear is that they have a plot there. You will hear that they are constructing a house there. They are constructing a school there. Why do they do that? If they are selfless, then they wouldn't be doing that. But they only do that because they have an opportunity, and they are getting closer to these vulnerable people, knowing that the vulnerable will always throw away something at a throwaway price. All right? So get it. If you don't get it, forget about it. I'm telling you. So Nico Buddha, of course, you remember recently he was at crossroads with Marwa, right? FELO the boy was being mentioned in a kind of scammer aspect that we as the observers may not have details, but it's quite clear that FELO the boy, GINTU, talk about Max One, and name them all, Marwa and his team, all of them are scammers. Only degrees vary. You know the degrees vary. There are those who are 100%, 150, 60%, 40. There are those who are just starting to learn, so they are 5%. But all of them are opportunists and scammers who are out there trying to ravage for human flesh and opportunities. No wonder they are acquiring land at throwaway price from drunkards or from homes where people are not able to manage themselves. They take advantage of Challenges like people are put in by the police, so they go salvage them out and they pay some things, then the rest is paid slowly. Currently, by the way, in most places, including Nairobi, when you're buying a plot, you can pay in 4 installments maximum. And when you fail, that money will be lost. There are those whereby you actually have to have an agreement through a group, and that group will keep pressing you so that you finish, and you finish, you acquire your documents. Of course, most of those plots have already the land title deeds. I'm even surprised in Nyabohanse, people are running to buy plots or land here and there, and they don't have documents. But when you go to places like the city, in fact, there is a city that is coming up just on Thika Road, in Uhuru Kenyatta's farm, a land that some people feel like it was the public's land, so when it turns out as a city, it's okay. Anyway, that one will be discussed in a political setting. I don't know why I brought it here, but diversion is one of the things we do here on YouTube streets. If you get it, you get it, right? That's how the tingo goes. So GINTU is talking a lot. You can't even follow. But the gist of the story is that he's blaming FELO the boy. He's blaming FELO the boy for actually being greedy and scamming land and all that, But in the process, he forgot himself and talked about his father bought land from FELO the boy's father at a cheaper price. And then when there were shenanigans around it, he sold it off and went bought something else. So all these are products of scams. They buy cheap land and rip off the lives of the poor people in the village. Unfortunately, these poor villagers will never wake up until Jesus Christ comes. I don't know when. They'll never wake up. Why? Because some of them are trapped in poverty. Poverty is one of the things that is quite disadvantaging to a family. Illiteracy is the other thing. Most of those families, they are illiterate. They are not even educating their kids. Some of their kids are back at home not going to school, okay? So, they keep bad-mouthing each other just because they want to create a good picture of them, but they are not better. They are not better, okay? So, I don't know why they can't cut the clothes based on their size, but it's unfortunate. So actually, instead of them concentrating on the current project, like why would GINTU not focus on his project? So he's calling FELO the boy a thief, okay? But then when we look at him, especially you look at Gate, the picture, the video that he presented, she presented indicating that GINTU has mistreated her, that she wins to go. People did not know that they were scamming because actually, according to some people from Nyabohanse, Gate never left GINTU's house. But just recently, when she's almost delivering, she comes out and says she's back to her husband. What a fool. That donor who constructed for Gati actually felt like she should choke because she can't even tell her family. Can you imagine sympathizing with a woman feeling like, oh, let me raise my fellow woman, she's being mistreated, only to learn that she was a scammer. She was scamming you using your emotions. It's unfortunate. Actually, donors should be careful. There are kids who are out there, families that genuinely need help, people that really deserve help. But I don't know why these donors are just stuck in Nyabohanse. Kenya is a very wide nation, very wide. And if they were watching out on news, actually there are genuine cases of people who cannot even afford to go to school and their homes are shown online. Their homes are shown online. Their situations as destitute are shown. Why can these donors put their money where it should be? We don't deny that they should not help anybody else. But then, this concentration in Nyabohanse is destroying everything. Like every donor wants to go and assist someone in Nyabohanse, and it just creates a war after war, war after war. Like even how many people need villas in Nyabohanse? The villas you are constructing at the end of the day, what will they turn into? Will they turn into haunted house I've heard of when we read books from America? I've done American literature and all that I've seen, it's haunted houses, with ghosts all over the places. Anyway, lies, lies, lies. So these people, Maro will come up with a lie, David Jr. with his own lie, Masubo with his own lie, Max One with his own lie, GINTU his own lie. And you people eat that lie, and then you hate on another and help another. So what? Anyway, if you want to be used, why not? Because a broom is always very beautiful when it's fresh. But when it's used, look at it after 1 month or 2. You won't like it. You won't even want to touch it, all right? And of course, it gets to be shorter and shorter. So I just believe that some of the donors, they want to be used, because I believe some of those who help, they're even Africans who went to work in America. They went to hustle so that they better their life. Have they forgotten about themselves? Do they forget even their countries they come from? There are people who genuinely need assistance. Anyway, I'm not discouraging you from helping, but then just be wise so that you don't get a shocker. Don't get a shocker. You know, when I look at most people in Nyabohanse, they have decided to be lazy. And even the way they do their videos, they don't have to struggle a lot. Like, someone has just to ramble, and they make it. When there are people who are working so hard in the nation, and it's very hard for them to raise even a living, it's very hard for them to do even a project. And because Nyabohanse is just known, they keep pouring their money, Nyamwini now. Like I was looking yesterday at the dancing grandma. This old lady has turned into taking liquor, and I'm sure it is not the recent one. She keeps taking liquor. Mwita also does the same. And when they drink, the kind of nonsense they shit out there is just too much. And these people keep watching, but I don't know. They keep watching and they're like, yeah, keep the documents of that home, keep the documents of that house, keep the document. I'm like, what the hell is this? Why can't they look at the vulnerable kids who are unable even to pay fees across the country? I'm telling you, not just Kenya, Africa. Africa at large, most countries are third world nations and people are struggling like hell. I saw pictures of Marsabit over the holidays. And recently, when you check out after the placement of grade 10s, we have students who are stuck at home. And you look at their homes, literally nothing. Some of them are living in paper houses, mud houses that are totally torn. Some are orphans, and they deserve help. But you people, you're not doing that. You are just running to help grown-up people who can actually go to the farm and work and earn a living. In the name of building houses, transforming Africa, really? You mean when you do Nyabohanse constructions, you are transforming Africa? Or are you transforming Nyabohanse? Anyway, let me not talk too much about that, but I feel there's a lot of shenanigans with these people, okay? So, Madam Felista is not really a successful business person. Now, she was supporting her children, grandchildren, and all that. She was struggling. But it's quite disappointing that children's safety is a concern. The children trust them, they feel secure in their hands. But unfortunately, there is intervention of privacy, and support is a problem here. So I don't know, before I can actually, because by 12:04 I should be going to class, I just want to let you know that when you talk about FELO the boy, you talk about Max, you talk about all these people. We'll get to talk about it again, but I want to finish on Max 1, then we go back. Now, tell me why Max 1 will be overseeing several projects, just like GINTU. Why? Why can they let others see? So let's listen to him and then move on
interrupting
to
her
our
own
sister.
schedule, of the day. Huh? Because me was sent there with one agenda. At the end of the month, the children to be paid school fees. But for him, he's just there, drama, chaos, here, there, for content, for views. Shame on you.
Now you realize that Max 1 is actually the one that is overseeing the payment of fees for kids of Mama Felista. Now, FELO the boy actually was overseeing something there. And then now GINTU went there and started making a lot of noise. Why are they fighting? It's because of donors, nothing else. Trust me. These people are fighting over donors. And so whether Max 1 is speaking or whether it is GINTU, all they are doing is because some of them feel like the opportunity is walking away from their hands. So what they feel is just like there is a slippery of donors out of their hands, and that is why they are talking as they are talking. Or otherwise, as I told you, no one is genuine fully in this life. No one. Trust me. So let's get to see our sister here. And it's just a small part. My goodness, did she announce that her PIOTR doesn't take alcohol? I'm telling you, don't brag for your husband. You know yourself, brag for yourself. But you come to the internet and tell us my husband doesn't take alcohol. So what? Go to hell. So she came online and began to brag. So what? If he takes water, let him take. But then why is he celebrating wine so much that every time we see him, it's like he's salivating? Like we would actually see him drooping off because some wine has arrived. And he's like, who? So this guy is just a booze person, guys. Let's not cheat. I just want to show a small receipt and tell me, if your husband is not an alcoholic, and why would he celebrate a booze like this? He should be celebrating money or something. But a bottle of wine arrives and he's on airs. Tell me that I'm overthinking, but I doubt. I doubt whether I am. Let's see this.
So much.
Look at that. Look at that, guys.
Not just pero.
Dosh.
Okay. And very soon they'll be pouring into a glass and celebrating immediately. If he's not an alcoholic man, he would wait.
Wow. How beautiful. Wow. Thank you so much, Anne and Lewy. We really appreciate. This was so beautiful, so thoughtful. Oh my God. All the way from France. Wow. Open, baby. We wanna cheers. He loves reading it and all that. I rarely read nothing.
Where is Valentino?
Yeah?
Look at, who would open wine like that if they have not been drinking for the last, I don't know how many years.
This one.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
The bouquet?
so nice. Baby, make sure it doesn't fall down.
Let's just keep that.
Aww.
Oh, Simone.
Thank you. And who?
You tell me.
For Mr. Kita. Yes.
Pray.
We pray for
What
wine?
he says.
Yeah? We says we pray for the wine. God bless this wine as we take it. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Cheers.
Oh,
Look at that.
you can smell.
I don't want to laugh. Even before cheers, he was galloping it down the throat, okay?
Oh,
So smooth. So smooth.
ooh. So smooth. Give boy.
So smooth.
Baby,
Doesn't
give
want
boy.
it.
Oh, okay. Because, boy doesn't want to drink wine because he's going to drive.
I know nothing about wine. I know nothing about
Very
wine.
smooth, this one.
All I can say is so smooth.
Wow. Cheers again here. Here.
Oh, for sure it's good. Delicious. Sugar.
Pozdrovuj na... Wow.
Wow.
What a life. So actually you understand why Piotr had to actually come into this contract. If you can just stay at home, wine is flowing in, money is flowing in, the budget is in, why not? So guys, take opportunity when you get it. Don't throw away opportunity, okay? Be like Piotr, use the opportunity as much as possible. So guys, go back and watch GINTU, watch Max One, watch Fela the Boy, and let's also follow our sister here and get to see the gist, reality and appearance. Appearance and reality, all right? If you know it, you know, okay? So adios guys, let's meet later for a political discussion. Bye bye for now.